Today, we're going way, way back. We're going to explore the dawn of us and figure out how civilization even began.
Just think about it for a second. The city you live in, the device you're watching this on, even the way we measure time. It all has an origin story. A single point in the deep past where everything changed, setting us on the path to the world we live in today. So, before we had cities, before we had nations, what was life like? Well, humanity was in a completely different place. And that's what we're jumping into first, the Great Leap Forward.
For almost all of human history, we were wanderers, nomads. We followed the herds, we gathered what we could. But then, around 12,000 years ago, something incredible happened. We call it the Neolithic Revolution, and it was the moment we went from chasing our food to growing it. That one change, well, it changed everything.
So, how do you get from planting a seed to building a city? Well, it's kind of like a domino effect. First, you get agriculture, right? That gives you a steady food supply. And if you don't have to chase your food anymore, you can stay in one place, creating permanent settlements. And over time, those settlements get bigger and more complex until, boom, you have the world's first cities. So, when we use this big word, civilization, what are we actually talking about? It's not just a bunch of buildings, it's the whole package. Organized government, art, religion, different social classes, and, this is a big one, a system for writing things down. These are the key ingredients we're going to see pop up over and over again. And the very first place where all those ingredients came together was in a hot, dry land that the ancient Greeks called Mesopotamia. It literally means the land between the rivers. Right here, between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, a people called the Sumerians built something the world had never seen before: cities. And at the center of it all was this massive structure, the ziggurat. Think of it as part temple, part city hall, part bank. It was the absolute heart of Sumerian life. But what was the secret sauce that made all this possible? It was one simple thing: extra food. Having a surplus of grain meant that for the first time in history, not everybody had to be a farmer. This freed people up to become priests, soldiers, artists, and leaders. It's how society got, well, complicated. And to manage this new, complicated society, the Sumerians came up with one of the greatest inventions of all time: writing. This right here is cuneiform. It's basically wedge-shaped marks pressed into wet clay. Yeah, it started out as a way to keep track of who owed what, but it completely unlocked our ability to record history, create literature, and pass knowledge down through generations. And here's a wild little fact for you. Ever wonder why there are 60 seconds in a minute or 60 minutes in an hour? You can thank the Sumerians. Their number system was based on 60. So yeah, that's a 5,000-year-old idea, still ticking away on your phone right now. All right, our journey continues. Now we're heading west to another mighty river that was the lifeblood for one of history's most iconic and long-lasting civilizations. We're talking, of course, about the gifts of the Nile. I mean, the thing about ancient Egypt that's just mind-boggling is how long it lasted. We're talking almost 3,000 years of dominance, from the very beginning through the incredible pyramid-building era to the time when they were a massive empire. Egypt was a superpower of the ancient world. We tend to think of ancient Egypt as being obsessed with death, mummies, tombs, the underworld, but that's kind of getting it backwards. These incredible monuments, the pyramids, they weren't built to glorify death, they were built to celebrate life, an eternal life, where death was just one step on a much longer journey. So let's clear up one of the biggest myths in history, shall we? Who actually built the pyramids? For decades, movies and stories told us it was slaves. But the actual evidence? It tells a totally different story. The builders were paid Egyptian workers. Many of them were incredibly skilled craftsmen. There is zero physical or written evidence that slaves built these amazing monuments. All right, from the famous rivers of Mesopotamia in Egypt, we're now going to a place that holds one of history's greatest puzzles, the Forgotten Kingdom. Okay, picture this. At the same time the Egyptians are starting to build pyramids, another huge civilization pops up in modern-day Pakistan and India. They have these amazing, perfectly planned cities, and they're trading with people thousands of miles away. So why is the Indus Valley civilization not a household name like Egypt? Well, that's the mystery. Archaeologists have found their incredible cities, like Harappa, with streets laid out in a perfect grid. We know they traded with Mesopotamia, and we know they had their own system of writing. But here's the catch. We can't read it. Not a single word. Their entire history, their stories, their beliefs, they're all trapped in a code we just haven't been able to crack. And the mystery gets even deeper. After hundreds of years of success, around 1600 BC, their cities were just empty, abandoned. What happened? Was it a massive drought, an invasion, a plague? We honestly don't know. A whole civilization just seemed to vanish, leaving behind one of history's coldest cases.
But here's the really cool part. This idea of civilization, it wasn't just happening in one or two spots. It was like a spark that started catching fire all across the world. A truly global awakening.
Seriously, look around the globe at this time. In Africa, you have the mighty kingdom of Kush rising to the south of Egypt. Over in China, the Shah dynasty is laying the groundwork for Chinese civilization. And what's absolutely amazing is that in the Americas, the Olmec civilization rises up, totally isolated, having figured it all out on their own. This wasn't one story. It was a human story, happening everywhere.
So, okay, this is all fascinating. But why does it matter to you and me thousands of years later? Well, because everything we are, everything we've built is standing on these ancient foundations.
Their world is, in so many ways, our world. That Sumerian writing, it's the great-great-great-great-grandfather of the text you're reading right now. The wheel, every car, train, and plane owes it a debt. Egyptian engineering principles, we still use them. And the idea of the number 0 from ancient India, without it, you don't have computers, period.
It all boils down to this. These ancient peoples laid down the groundwork for everything that came after. They didn't just build cities of mud, brick, and stone. They built the very foundations of the modern world.
The things they created, the ideas they had, have echoed down through thousands of years of history. They built the foundations for our world. So the question that leaves us with is a big one. What will we build for the world that comes next?